Alrighty then, what's up guys? It's over his game, we're back with another live stream. We are back on the channel. Apologize for starting this one pretty late, as I am. I kind of got distracted on it, just kind of venting out. And kind of being in my own world a little bit, so I do apologize for that. I'm gonna jump around with at least another stream. One more stream of it. And I don't know if I'm gonna do any more after that. I'm not 100% sure. I know I'm kind of starting kind of late. I apologize on that. So smash the like button if you guys do enjoy. Smash the subscribe if you guys are new. Barlow over his army. Hit that bell to be notified every time I do go live and upload fire content like this. Of course, social medias. Stay up to date with me all the time. Links are in the description. Don't forget to check out Dan Reviews because I am going to be watching some of his videos here to kind of give a little bit more detailed, updated information. And because he's a great source to get the info from. So shout out to you, my man Dan. But yes, I will be kind of going over the thoughts and discussion about the information that we got. So it's pretty exciting, for sure. I think there might be a couple interviews and stuff like that too that we might react to as well. So this is just kind of like a walking Daryl Dixon stream, pretty much, and kind of give my thoughts and all that good stuff. Of course, we got my Daryl Dixon shirt and such like that. I think I got another one that's similar or in the fashion. So love my man Daryl. He can go for a long time, and I'm cool. So, but this information is definitely exciting in its own way, despite it being maybe disappointing if you look at it a certain way. it's very exciting because it can lead to very exciting things, and I think that is good for the franchise. Um, and there's just a lot they can still do going forward anyway. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to come to the conclusion or the end period. You know what I mean? I think there's still more things that we can do and continue on. So we're definitely far from over without any question. But this is the season 3 trailer. I'm going to quickly get a drink real quick here. After this will be Hedgehog Bros continuation, episode 195. So that will be next. So definitely do stay tuned for that. Trying to keep the grind going. I was going to do more streams than this. I'm going to see after I kind of do this one, and then when I do 195, and then go from there, and then see whether or not I got some more time to squeeze in some more content, or I don't. If I do, I potentially might continue World Combat continuation. We will see on that. If we do, that's what I'll be doing, continuing that series to keep that bad boy going, as well as that'd be it for sure. I get up, we're ready to go to the baseball game, and then we will get back into the grind after that. So stay tuned. When we get the far content rolling here, Sunday evening / Sunday night, we're definitely gonna be grinding like crazy when it comes to content for sure. So definitely don't want to miss it. I'm not gonna push it off, kind of like I did with tonight, a little bit. I was gonna squeeze in a little bit more actually, but I kind of didn't. But like I said, I'm doing 195, and then Sunday evening I'm gonna do 196. Walker Dead's Zombie Apocalypse series, or I might do that one first, then 196. And then I'm gonna see how much time I have at that point, and kind of go from there. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. And then obviously during the nighttime, I'm gonna squeeze in more episodes, like 197 of Hedgehog Bros, and then some other content as well. I might even continue Shittabus Part 2 as well. Obviously around that review on Fantastic Four. We're going to get that review with me and Mr. Heisenberg, and we'll make a pretty important statement that I'm sure you guys will want to stick around for in that stream. I don't know if it's going to be the beginning or if we're going to wait until the middle or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we do that stream. But it'll definitely be something that kind of needs to be stated on the channel, at least for you guys. So we'll have that. So I'm going to definitely be shooting to do 3 episodes for sure during the nighttime, evening / nighttime of Sunday. So that is the plan, that is the goal, that is kind of what I'm shooting for. And then another episode Monday. So that'll be like 4 or 5. So I'm trying to squeeze in as much as I can here. Might not be quite 8. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best. So kind of the situation. So I might not quite hit 8. I know I did say I was gonna promise, but things kind of just got crazy. You know what I mean? Things got a little bit all over the place and stuff like that. So yeah. So I'm gonna get into my drink and then we'll rock and roll. So I've not seen this trailer yet. It's been out for a day. I'm very good at not jumping into things, despite them being out. um, so, trying to think of the few other things I was gonna say. Um, yeah, I know during the week I'm definitely gonna get more into the grind. That Fortnite 7-hour live stream is gonna be, well, yeah, I might push it out during the week. Like I did with the last one, instead of that. Or I am going to wait until next week, which might be a possibility. So, anyways, here is the season 3 trailer. So, first time.
So where do all the people go? You're looking at? Come here. You're looking at the last Englishman in England. I could sell the boat alone.
That's so good.
Just as everyone is a half-face up. Welcome to Falabella.
The quality is beautiful.
We need to protect my people. Our town was under constant siege.
Madman there? Is it okay?
See, the town offers up $1 million, and you tell me you get a truck full of non? They call it security. I call it extortion. Rob's fighting always fights. I just think we should back off.
You just do nothing.
Where's that convoy go next? Barcelona. You got a map? Follow me.
Badass. Damn.
Fight them. We gotta kill the next king of Spain.
First you survive
Shit.
without them, too. And after time, you're lucky. Certificate.
Let's keep doing that. Let's keep never giving up.
Wow. Alright, so that was wow, so that was season 3 of Daryl Dixon. Damn. That looked really good. That looked really good. I like the refreshingness of it. It was refreshing. The quality, beautiful. Looks beautiful. It just looks exciting. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of craziness kind of going on there. And I like that. I do. So, yeah, fire trailer, honestly. Definitely excited to react to this live with you guys and give my honest review and all that good stuff. So hopefully it does stay true to it being good. I know season 2 was not as great. Of course, I still liked it, but I gave it an 8 out of 10 as a whole. But there definitely was issues with that season, without a question. So hopefully this is more season 1 style in terms of just killing it with everything. You know what I mean? The flow, the characters, obviously the quality, definitely keeping that shit on par. But just killing it with everything else. You know what I mean? But definitely looks really good. I'm liking what I'm seeing, 100%. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So that is a good thing. 100%. So, we're gonna go to Dan reviews. My man Dan, Mr. Dan. Not the mattress man, but so I think there's 2 videos we're gonna react to here. I know he did a trailer reaction. That's his own thing. And then he also did the trailer breakdown. I'm not going to do that either. I'm just going to do its ending, and then we got what we wanted. So we're going to react to the first one.
What are you looking at him for? We're celebrating.
So I'm going to put his channel in the description.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe and another video for the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. We just got the confirmation from the Walking Dead main accounts themselves that the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon will be ending with a 4th and final season. Awesome. Okay, so I'm sure y'all wanted to hear my thoughts on this. So I'm going to get this out to y'all as soon as possible. Yeah, honestly, they needed to. I just did my reaction to the season 3 trailer, and I said in it, I was like, I don't know how much longer they can do this, you know what I mean? Like, I've been saying it, look, I love The Walking Dead, I love what, they do, I do enjoy it, but we gotta get to the reunions that we have been really delaying because of a show like this happening. So I'm really happy about that. Next year,
Definitely.
Season 4, Daryl Dixon, that is it. That is the end. So Daryl Dixon is ending with Season 4, and I'm assuming, again, we'll see, that Dead City probably won't be late to follow. You know what I mean? I don't know if Dead City will only get one more season with Season 3, or if they'll do a 4th season. Tough to tell, you know what I mean? But we at least know that Daryl Dixon is finally coming to an end. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, Dan, what do you mean you're so happy? Listen, the reason I'm happy is because now with these shows out of the way next year, we can finally, hopefully, get to some substance. You know what I mean? Get to the reunions that we all, as fans, collectively want to see. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm celebrating to this. It's not because Daryl's a bad show. No, it's a good show. It's a fine series. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. Well, let's talk about season 2. But, the show is fine enough. My thing is that I'm glad that it sounds like Gimple may have listened to what people were saying, Because I heard rumors that this was going to go on for 8 seasons, which, to be honest, I think that's what he wanted to do. Honest, I think that's what he wanted to do. But they were just like, okay, let's wrap it up, Either that or that was always the decision, creatively, which, if it is, again, good thing. I don't think you need to go any further than 4 seasons. I just don't see the need. It's not the type of show that should have a longevity to it because it's a spinoff. You know what I mean? It's not the original event. So now I'm kind of just hoping that because of this news, I'm hoping that maybe in 2027, we can actually get the big, collide of characters that we want to see, That's what I'm kind of hoping for. That's what I'm really hoping this news means. Because as a Walking Dead fan, this is the best news I've heard in a long time, okay? Because, and like I said, the reason I'm so happy is because now Daryl and Carol are probably finally going to take their asses home. You know what I mean? They're finally going to, you know, get back to what matters, you know? And that's what I care about. That's what matters to me. I care about Rick seeing Daryl. I care about Morgan seeing Rick. I care about these characters being back together in one spot and them, you know, either ending it or at least just ending their stories, you know, one of the two. And it looks like this could be the beginning of that, you know? So I'm happy about this news. Honestly, this is better than the trailer to me. This is what I want. No one wants dragged out spin-offs. No one wants to see 8 seasons of Daryl. No one wants to see this show get dragged out to a point where it gets boring. And admittedly, I'm already at that point. So I'm glad they're pulling the cord. I honestly thought it would be much worse. I thought we'd be sitting here until 2030 watching this freaking TV show. I'm glad, even though I like Daryl and I like Carol, trust me, I do. I'm glad that they're focusing on something more important, which is hopefully the reunions of the characters in the coming next 2 years. You know what I mean? That's good to hear. You know what I mean? So, I think this is honestly the best thing I've heard from Comic-Con so far. Admittedly, that's the best thing I've heard. I'm happy about it. I think this is a good decision, and I'm hoping that this means good things for potentially a reunion. I hope that's where this could potentially go. Because I've been really keeping my mouth shut, man. I've really been trying to just watch these shows and just hope that eventually we get the reunions that we've all been waiting to see. You know what I mean? Since like 2018 with Rick and Daryl, you know? It's time. It is. It's time. It's time to get to the point. So hopefully that means in 2027, or if they really have a brain, at the end of season 4 of Daryl Dixon, he will see Rick. Right? That could be next year, for all we know. That's what that means. Y'all realize that. There is a chance that at the end of season 4 of Daryl Dixon next year, he could see Rick. That's a big deal. You know, the fact that that's even now kind of a discussion point, I'm happy about that. Because I want that reunion to be happening, and then for us to figure out, okay, what are we doing with the Walking Dead brand? You know, our favorite characters are back together. What now? You know, do we conclude it or do we just do other things? You know, that is what I like to hear, and this is good news. So, very happy. You know what I mean? And now I can kind of just enjoy the Daryl show. Now I can kind of just sit there and say, all right, we're going to have season 3, and then next time it's the last installment. Now I'll be able to sit back and kind of just enjoy whatever crap they chuck at me. You know what I mean? Without knowing the long vision of the show, knowing if this crap would be 8 seasons, it was hard to get excited for it. Now I can say, all right, I can watch 2 normal seasons of Daryl and then hopefully get what I want to see. You know what I mean? So that's good job. Good job. Gimple, you did something right, buddy. I'll give it to you. Thank you all for watching. Post your comments down below. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, guys, make sure to click subscribe. If you miss any of the videos, make sure to follow me on Games and Views Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Daryl Dixon and the Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Going in the dark alley, city of concrete, is where he's growing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every breakfast, broke gone mad, TV junkies in a tree. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique and TV light.
Alrighty. So that was that one, and now we're gonna watch the newest one. Yeah. So yeah, very good video. Very good video. But yeah, now you know it's ending. Season 4 is
We finally
final.
got what we wanted, y'all. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon has come to an end with season 4. And I want to talk about that. You know what I mean? I want to talk about that. I want to discuss it now that San Diego Comic-Con has kind of come to a wrap, of course. And I want to kind of just talk about everything, you know, in regards to the event, everything we got, and some updates for the Daryl Dixon show, because Daryl Dixon was the only thing Walking Dead related this year that we got. Which is what I predicted. I told y'all that too. I remember a lot of people saying, oh no, Dan, we're going to get Rick news, we're going to get this, we're going to get that. I said it. I was like, in reality here, all we're going to get is Daryl Dixon. And I was right, you know what I mean? Which I hate that I was, admittedly. I think they should have updated us on other things in this franchise. But we did get something positive out of this, which is there was a good trailer. The trailer was fine. And I will say, I'm very, very happy to see that season 4 of Daryl Dixon's the last season. Now, to kind of clarify what I mean for anybody that is thinking like, oh, Dan, why are you hating on Daryl? Like, why are you hating on, his character? I'm not hating on his character. I absolutely love Daryl's character, okay? Make sure you understand that. I love Daryl. Daryl's one of my favorite Walking Dead characters. But we could not have dragged this show on for 8 seasons. You know what I mean? Like the rumors were saying. And there were actually rumors that happened earlier this year saying that Daryl season 4 would be the final season. Well, they were correct, right? They were correct. So some rumors do end up being true, and that is one of them. Now, I'm not going to credit Scott Gimple for this, because I got to be honest, I think that 8-season idea was his. I think, and this is just my 2 cents here, I think Gimple wanted to do 8 seasons, and AMC was like, no, you're not. No, you're afraid not. I think they shut them down. I think they did. Again, we'll probably never know the truth of why it stopped, but it seemed like so all of a sudden that season 4 is the last season. I feel like someone somewhere cut them off. I really do think so. Again, just my theory on it. I think they cut them off somewhere. Or they did do the smart thing and they decided to end the spinoff here because of the backlash and because of what they've heard about season 2. How people are impatient to see the reunion with Daryl and Rick, which I will definitely admit I'm one of those people. I think we were gypped of that in The Ones Who Live. I think we were gypped of that at the end of the original show. And I think it's finally time for us to see the reunion with Rick and Daryl. That should have happened a long time ago. We should have had, and I've said this from the get-go, we should have had the reunion with Rick and Daryl either at the end of the original show or in The Ones Who Live, change up the timelines to make that possible, and then Daryl Dixon should have been after the reunion with Rick, right? And then you could have watched the Daryl show as its own individual thing, knowing that he is aware of Rick being alive, and they've been hanging out for a few years now, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Daryl will get home at one point, and he knows Rick is there when he gets back, That's what the writers should have done. But they didn't. So now here we are with Daryl. Season 4 is the final season. Now the rumors are happening. Will Daryl have a reunion with Rick? Listen, they better have a reunion with Rick. That's all I'm saying. Because here's the thing.
Damn straight.
You cannot tell me that this is going to be it. You know what I mean? That Daryl's just going to get home, no Rick, no nothing, that's it. I would like to believe that Gimple is not that stupid. You know what I'm saying? I would like to believe that he at least has common sense to know that when Daryl goes back to Alexandria, the only logical thing here is to have him have a reunion with Rick. If Daryl gets home and nothing happens, I'm going to be seriously like, what? Because we know Rick is home, So I really hope that in the coming months here, as they're filming season 4, that's the ultimate plan, is for Rick to be in that finale, 408 to be exact. Which, that's an update I wanted to go in now to as well, too. Apparently, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3 is going to be 7 episodes. They also talked about that at the panel. I know a lot of you guys are letting me know about that. So rather than 6 episodes, Daryl Season 3 is going to be 7 episodes, and that is going to take us from September 7th to October 19th. So that'll be the Daryl Season 3 episode count. And apparently, Season 4 is going to be 8 episodes. So 15 episodes, right? 15 episodes to go for Daryl Dixon, which is perfect. I don't think you need any more than that. I know some people saying, oh, I want Daryl to go on forever. I did hear a few of those comments. I did. I heard a few people saying, like, oh, I'm really sad we didn't get 6, 7, 8 seasons at a time. We could have never gotten those seasons. Like, with the way the show was going and him touring the world 24/7, you know how stale that would be for him to just keep moving place to place? We have Ride with Norman Reedus for that. You know what I mean? The Walking Dead did not need to do that. I'm seriously happy that he went to France, he got stranded in Spain, which is kind of goofy, but whatever, and now he's gonna, finally take his ass back home. That is what I wanted the entire time. If it were up to me, I would have done a France show, and that would have been it. A season or 2 max, and then he goes home, if that, I don't think you needed all these seasons, and I know a lot of people say, oh, well, it would have been cool to see other parts of the world. Yeah, but you have other characters you can use for that, you know what I mean? The world is your oyster, Mr. Gimple. You can do anything you want. reunite Daryl with Rick, which looks like he may do. Reunite Daryl and Rick next season, after season 3, and then you can do whatever you want. Now, according to what I've seen, there was a final statement from Norman Reedus that I did find kind of interesting. So we're going to go over that and kind of talk about what he had to say about the end of the Daryl Dixon show. Daryl Dixon has been an incredible journey, Norman Reedus says. I thank each and every fan who has joined us on this ride. It's been a privilege to build this story for these characters, and we have so much gratitude for how it's been embraced. Your love and support has been every moment worth it. This finale isn't just an ending. It's a celebration of what we've all shared together. Keep carrying over that love forward. Daryl's journey is far from over. And that's why I'm telling people that are panicking about the fact that we only got 2 seasons left to chill the hell out. Because Daryl's journey is far from over. You know what that means, right? So we're going to get these 2 seasons, hopefully the reunion, and then they're going to do something else. You know what I mean? You can feel it from a mile away. They will never really end Daryl's character until Norman says that's it. They're just ending his show. You know what I mean? I guarantee Daryl is still going to be around. Whatever content they're doing next, or it's going to happen. Not to mention, Gimple has mentioned that there is another phase of the Walking Dead franchise that he's working on. That is why I'm telling you guys to be excited that Daryl is ending. Because we may get the reunion with Rick. It feels very likely at this point. Plus, Gimple literally said, whenever Daryl's, journey comes to an end, we will have, the reunion with Rick. So I'm hoping that at the end of this show, when Daryl goes home, that is what they do. But then they continue Daryl's character from there. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hopeful for. Also, do you guys recall a video that the AMC Walking Dead channel posted earlier this year that really pissed me off at the time? Now I'm actually kind of thinking to myself, man, there might actually kind of some stuff to this, Y'all remember the AMC video I did a video on a few months ago, where it said, Daryl talked about, I'm not your brother or whatever, and he was pointing the gun, and then it put a caption, well, maybe next year. Maybe next year, final season, Daryl Dixon? Could that be a tease that Rick and Daryl are back together? You know what I mean? That could be it. That genuinely could be it. The end of the Daryl story for this show, maybe their statement of them saying maybe next year. There's definitely some possibilities here. I'm not gonna lie, and it's the first time ever I can actually say I actually feel the idea that these characters could be back together again by the time of next year, which would be insane. I just want that. That's all I've been asking for. If you give me that reunion, I don't care what else you do. You want to drag the franchise out for 15, freaking 20 years? You can do that. You know what I mean? Just give me these characters on screen again. Just give me Rick and Daryl back on screen again. And I don't care what else you do. At that point, I will go along with Gimple's nonsense of however long he wants to do the franchise. Just reunite those characters, give them a nice ending together, and then if you want to do more Daryl content down the line, that's fine. You know what I mean? Just let him see Rick. This man has been looking for him since 2018. And in their timeline, it's like 10 years he's been looking for Rick. We deserve that reunion. We do. And I'm hoping that is why this is all happening. Because they've heard the fans, they've heard the way people are talking about it, the constant spamming that I've seen on the AMC Walking Dead channel from the fans of people saying, where's Daryl and Rick? Where's Daryl and Rick? It's everywhere. I'm hoping that they heard us and they were like, okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's do it when the Daryl show ends, which it is. It's ending. You know what I mean? So that's that. I'm not sad about Daryl ending either, and you want to know why? Not only because it means that we could get the reunion we've been asking for, also because apparently Daryl's journey is far from over. So, I mean, that right there proves the point. Daryl's journey is far from over. So, you don't have to worry about Daryl being concluded. You know what I mean? At the very least, we may be done with Carol, you know what I mean? Which honestly, that's fine. I don't really see much more for Carol to do. But Daryl, I think they're gonna use him, as much as they possibly can. Daryl will be a massive focal point in the next phase of The Walking Dead. I guarantee it. It's just that his show is ending. That's all it is. So, I mean, that's genuinely where I'm at with this whole thing. You know what I mean? I think it's good to not drag out something for too long, It's why I have support for stuff like The Boys or Breaking Bad or other things like that that are choosing to end when they're at their climax. You know what I mean? Daryl, I think, has overstayed its welcome already as it is. But I think it's a good thing that they're wrapping it up with season 4. Because if they were to do 8 seasons, listen, I know those Daryl fanboys out there are saying, oh my god, I would love 8 seasons, you know? But think about this for a minute. Is that really needed? You know what I mean?
No.
Does that really need to
It's
happen?
not needed.
You know what I mean? No, it does not. This is a way smarter idea. You want to watch Norman Reedus tour the world, watch Ride with Norman Reedus. It's not an actual story reason why we needed 8 seasons. And that is why I'm glad that if this was a creative decision from Gimple, alright, good job. But I don't credit this guy though. I don't, because he's already dragged this franchise way too far. So I don't support what he's done. But I will say, I will give a round of applause to AMC if they're the ones that told Scott Gimple, yeah, wrap it up. You know what I mean? I could see that. I could see them being the ones that told him, that's it. You get season 4 and you're done, you know? And I know that's kind of brought up a lot of questions now for people, like, what does this mean for Dead City? I think it means the very similar effect. I think Dead City has 2 more seasons. I think Daryl has 2 more seasons. I think those rumors that we heard a few months back are exactly right. Because obviously the Daryl one was correct, you know what I mean? So I think the Dead City one's accurate too. I think Dead City will get 3 and 4 with Seth Hoffman. You're done. You know what I mean? That's it. Which with Dead City, like I said, I'm not as urgent with Dead City to end though, because okay, yeah, season 2 was not the greatest season, but I'll still admit, Dead City, you know, I don't need Negan and Maggie to see Rick right away. I'm not desperate for that reunion. I really could care less. When it happens, if it does, okay, cool. But the Daryl and Rick reunion, oh, you're damn right you canceled Daryl's show. You know what I mean? You're damn right season 4 is the last season. We should have had that reunion in The Ones Who Live, or the end of the original show. I mean, to be honest, if they had a brain, that's what they would have done. Resolved Daryl looking for Rick in the main show where the rest of the content was, you know? That would have been the smart thing to do, but they didn't do that. So hopefully they finally have listened to the fans. I've heard a lot of people saying, Dan, we did it, you know? You've been pushing for Daryl to end for all this time now. And Dan, you did it, you know? I bet you're happy, Dan. Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy. And again, you know, some people may say, oh, Dan, you're happy. Why are you happy? You know, don't you love Daryl? Like, you know, all this stuff. Yes, I love Daryl. But we know we're going to get him forever. So, you know, it's like, that doesn't matter to me. I'm not sad about this at all. To me, this is them resolving a problem. That's what they're doing. They're resolving a problem and hopefully giving us the content we've been asking to see, you know? In canceling this show, there's an opportunity for them to do the right thing, you know? That's why I'm happy about it. So, for all those people saying, oh, Dan, you're just trying to get Daryl canceled because you hate him. No, I love Daryl. He's one of my favorite characters. But we needed to get to the point, you know? And I'm glad that they are doing that. I'm very passionate about this, if you couldn't tell. Rick and Daryl is my favorite duo of TV of all time.
Damn straight.
So I feel pretty strongly about it. So I'm hoping that this is it. I'm hoping that this is finally what we're getting, and they finally bring these characters back together. And you know, at that point, like I said, and I'm being for real on this. You give me Daryl and Rick's reunion at the end of season 4, I will not ask for any more stuff. At that point, you can do whatever you want. I don't even need the Morgan one, admittedly. I would like for them to do it, but like it's not what I'm desperate for, because Morgan thinks Rick's alive. You know what I mean? That's what's been bothering me this whole time. Daryl thinks Rick's dead 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So we've needed this, you know? The Morgan one, fine, because he thinks Rick's alive. You know what I mean? The Daryl one, like, he doesn't even know this man's alive. We need that reunion, and I'm hoping we have finally gotten to the point, and that's why this show is ending. I'm hoping that's what this is. So, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you all feel about this. Do you think it's a good decision to end Daryl? I definitely think it's a good idea. I think any more than 4 seasons would have driven me nuts. Honestly, so I'm glad that they're doing it here. They're not dragging Daryl's character through the mud to where it's becoming ridiculous. Kind of is already on that verge, but they stopped it at a good enough time. So I'm going to enjoy the next 2 seasons of Daryl because I know it's the end. And I'm glad about that, and I'm glad that we're finally at an ending point to where we know something is ending. Even if Daryl's character gets dragged on past this show, which I'm sure he will be. At least if you give me the reunion with Rick, I don't really care what else you do. You do whatever you want. Do whatever dumb stuff you want to do, you know? Just give me that reunion, and I will walk away happy. You know what I mean? I will walk away so happy. But you need to do it. So Gimple, you're obligated. We're all looking at you. You better do this reunion, because I don't know how much longer people can take this. So it's up to you, man. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. I will give you credit if you do it. If you don't do it, you are the worst writer of all time. And I will rip into his writing. I will. That's what I say. If season 4 ends and nothing happens, or Daryl gets home and no reunions are had, oh, that will. I'm telling you what, we will be pissed as a community. I think I can agree. I think everybody's gonna be pissed. So I think he knows better. I think he knows he's obligated when Daryl goes home. So let's hope next year is the year we finally give Daryl the reunion he deserves. So there you go, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. If you do the channel and you enjoy videos like this, guys, make sure to click subscribe. Let's know any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Games of Use Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys very soon for more videos very soon. Good luck today, guys, and peace out.
Going in the dark alleys, city of concrete, kids rivers blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking dead, dissected every plot twist, big world gone mad, TV junkies hit a tree. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shit and TV light.
Alrighty. So, 2 very good videos, Dan. 100%. Definitely do, like I said, check them out. I'll put the link in the description for his channel. Here's that cast tease and all that. So
It really feels like the first couple of years of Walking Dead.
It feels like gritty. Remember how dirty we were and
Yeah.
we were genuinely entering into new territory.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like here. It does feel a little bit like we're starting.
All of the fans in the crowd going crazy for footage of the show.
It feels great. Like Greg was saying on the panel, like we used to come here, we would work on the show in Georgia, and we sort of cut off from the outside world. We come here, we get like, energized from that crowd, and we go back to work. It feels great, like to be able to still fill up Hall H after all these years. It's awesome. It's great.
What was it like giving them a preview of season 3 today? What was their reaction?
Great. The trailer was exciting, continuing Daryl's European voyage and adventure from France to Madrid through London. It's awesome.
The cool thing about space is it's right across the border from France, but it's totally different in so many ways. So, like architecturally and geographically and culturally and historically, and so there's all these really cool things for us to explore and let infuse the story and to create a new environment and a new story for these great characters to be engaged with and get involved in. And so this show, it's the same show, but it has a completely different vibe, which is really exciting. In season 3, to sort of go, okay, we're doing the show, and it's about these 2 people, but it looks different, it smells different, it feels different, it sounds different, and it's fun.
Like you were saying, The Walking Dead has been coming to Comic-Con for years. How would you compare, your early days at Comic-Con with The Walking Dead, now being here with, the spin-off?
Well, it's like we're kind of family here now. The fans, I see the same people, and they're like, oh, look, here's a picture of us 10 years ago. Norman met a little girl today who he had a picture of holding her as a baby. So our fans are so loyal and so devoted that they will continue to come and support the show and support everything that we do. And that's pretty amazing.
Why do you think fans have connected with Carol and Daryl in the way that they have? And so many have just said that this is, in their minds, the best spin-off so far to come out of the Walking Dead universe.
So true. So true. I think it's hard for people to fake having real friendships and the bond that we have on this show. We put the time in to have this kind of relationship. Nothing's fake. We get on each other's nerves. We love each other. It's all there on camera. It's all real. I get on nerves all the time.
So much.
Yes. But it's true. Like I think you can feel it on screen. Like, you can feel how close they are. I love this.
What can you tease about the journey we're going to see them go on together in season 3?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's season three. Season 3 is it gets complicated in ways that we come across in the group, and they have a certain way of doing things, and it goes south, and then we sort of get involved. And then season 4, which we just started filming, there's a tone in it of all we do is run and fight. All we do is run and fight. Like there's got to be a better way to live, and I guess we're maturing as characters. I guess we're starting to realize things we didn't quite realize before. So how are we doing?
Good.
So, ending up where we end up, we're kind of maybe disrupting a little bit other people's systems of survival as we try to understand them, learning how to sort of integrate ourselves into this community while we
That's funny.
try to find a way home. And some things happen. And there's
Fucking
love
hysterical.
story. There's love stories involved with these young people. And then there's a mystery man that Carol is kind of curious about. Anyway, there's a lot to look forward to in season 3 and 4.
There's a lot of evolution.
Yeah. And it's gorgeous.
It was announced today that season 4 will be the final season. How does it feel stepping into this final chapter?
You know it. You know this.
No, you say
You know it.
I would say this, though, if I might jump in.
No.
You know, we were of two minds to talk about it, only because it's like getting so far ahead of things, you know? Like, putting season 3 out, we're super proud of it. It's an amazing season that reinvents the show and does it in a way that it brings in Western, like you know, cowboy kind of Westerns, like Man with No Name, like Sergio Leone. There's so much history in there, and I remember just going to one of the main places where we shot this village. It's unbelievable. And the locations are unbelievable. There's so much to talk about with season 4, but that's September 7th, season 3 of this show. We want people watching.
It's also an extended 3 and 4. We have more episodes, so it's there's a lot of stories to love to tell, and it really feels like the first couple of years of Walking Dead, which is something I personally been chasing forever, and I've gotten little bits and pieces, but
It feels good, that gritty. Remember how dirty we were?
It's
Gritty and,
yeah.
and new territory.
Intimate.
We were genuinely entering into new territory.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like here. And in a way, it does feel a little bit like we're starting.
Yeah.
What is it like to really bring it full circle in that way? You said it's reminding you of the beginning.
It's what I always wanted. It was a true family bond where it was creative and everyone had each other's backs, and you don't know you're making lightning in a bottle when you're making it. You know what I mean? And it's definitely a vibration. And it feels like we're on that same vibration. It feels great. It's what I always wanted. When people ask me about it, I always say I'm chasing that, and I feel like it's decent.
Yeah,
That's
It's been a long Comic-Con weekend, but before you go, I want to have you answer a couple of our fun Comic-Con bucket questions. So, Melissa and Norman, if you want to grab one, and then maybe everybody can answer.
Okay. What's something that makes you Hulk out? Your biggest pet peeve? What do you Hulk out over?
Umbrella etiquette.
Right?
I live in New York, and there's just people in the middle of the sidewalk.
Poke you in the
Oh
head.
my God, look at me here! Wow, whoa! Yeah, umbrella.
I think one of my pet peeves is when somebody advances to the front of the line. You know, you got like three, when you're at the grocery store, and you have three lines that are open, and somebody's waiting a long time. It's always the guy at the end of the line who just got in line going to the front of the line instead of the one who's been standing there for 20
When they
minutes.
open a new line.
Crazy.
I would say
I agree
unqualified
with that. I
internet
agree with
TV
you on
and
that.
movie reviews. People
agree
that
with Daryl,
have
Melissa.
no right
That's
to
good.
review something, and they'll put a review out there. Box office projections
Kid.
drives me insane. Because when I was younger, it didn't matter how much money the movie made. It mattered if it was fucking good or entertaining. Just go see it, because what happens is, oh, the movie's not making expectations. So people go, oh, it must not be good.
Sure.
So they don't go to the movies because Hollywood sensationalizes projections. Yeah. I didn't say Hollywood Reporter, I said Hollywood in general.
We don't make those projections, but we do report them, so
Yeah,
they'll
I
take
should
it.
stop doing that, by the way, and then I would be happy.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why? Destroy the internet. Would be a superpower?
I'm with you. When it was all kittens and stuff, it was much better.
Yeah.
Right?
I just think mind reading would be the way to go for me. I
Why
just want
would
to
you
know
want to know
what
what everyone's
I
thinking?
would, that would crush.
What would yours be?
I want to heal people. Yeah. Just.
Oh,
Be good now.
Yeah, so you would go for it.
I would say for the pet peeve, public whistling, and then superpower, you know, Superman really covers a lot, but time manipulation is, that, I just need that.
What is it about public whistling that
Public whistling is like, hey, listen to me solo. Yeah, oh, are you a public whistler?
I think I might be?
I mean, have you like been in the grocery store or something, and somebody's like going to town whistling? No. I guess I can't handle it. Are you guys all cool with public whistling?
I am. I'm
I can't
cool with
whistle,
it.
so.
Yeah.
Wow.
My pet peeve would be when people order fish on an airplane. And then the whole plane smells like fish. Like, you have to be such an asshole to order fish.
Terminal
Oh, it's the
onto
worst.
the
It's like,
plane.
who ordered the fish? And, you know, it's so, it just upsets me so much. And then my superpower, like or like dim the sun. Yeah, that would be me. Dim the sun, just
Mute or dim the sun.
I like you.
Mute.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I think
Is that how good that is? It's great.
Huh. That was actually very good. Okay. That's from the Hollywood Reporter. Very good. Very good, very good.
Greg, it's good to see you again, man. So what's one
Comicbook.com.
question that you always get asked that you deep down hope no one ever asks you again?
Wow. I probably blocked them all out. I don't know. Because most of the time when I interact with people, they're really enthusiastic. I mean,
Mhm.
horror fans and genre fans, they're grateful. They're happy you're here.
Right.
They want to talk about Evil Dead 2. They want to talk about Sam Raimi. Stuff they don't want to talk about. That's really good
Or
question.
just stuff that you don't want to talk about. So
Stuff
like
that I
the
don't-
question that you get asked the most that you're like, okay, I've been asked this over and over and over and over again. I've answered it a million times.
That's tricky. I mean, on Walking Dead, people always want to know, like, oh, what did you do different with the zombies this season? And,
Mm-hmm.
we're always trying to push the envelope, and I think honestly, the real thing is we're always trying to put little stuff in there for the fans,
Right.
and things like that. So that question seems sort of obvious.
Okay.
So
I just asked for me, so I know, like, if I've got that
Oh, I'll
question
tell
lined
you.
up,
If
I'm
it's-
like,
if it's bad, I'll tell you.
I'll cut it right out. First thing I did want to bring up with you though is that you've been behind some of the most iconic monsters in horror history. Well, you recently put your stamp on Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I wanted to know, what was your creative approach to sort of updating his look, and in your opinion, what makes Jason Jason?
Well, I got approached by the people who have the rights to the original character, and they said, we want to sort of reimagine him, and so we did this new mask, and we did a new Jason. We kind of landed, they're like, he's not a zombie, so he's not going to be rotted, so we kind of landed somewhere between part 2 and part 3,
Mm-hmm.
which were some of my favorite, makeups
Right.
in the show as he gets older. But it was really fun.
Yeah.
I actually have some of the masks with me that I made for them to bring them here
Oh, that's
this
awesome.
week. I should have brought.
I wish you-
one.
yeah.
I would have known. Anyway, but it was a lot of fun. I did stuff on the Leatherface game
Mm-hmm.
for Gun Media and designed my own Leatherface.
Right.
So it's fun for me to revisit those, you know, because look, we did Nightmare on Elm Street, we did Halloween, we did all 3 Scream movies, we did Leatherface. Like, we're the only company that's really touched every single one of those big franchises, except for Hellraiser. Hellraiser's the only one that we didn't touch.
So is that the one? That's the one that you're waiting on?
The one that got away.
Yeah.
I would do a Hellraiser movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Bruckner's movie. I thought David Bruckner did.
Yeah. So bringing it over to Daryl Dixon, you know, Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride, they've been, you know, they've lived in this world for like over a decade, right?
15 years.
Yeah. So what surprised you the most about how they approached this new chapter going into season 3?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I remember when Norman came up with the idea for this show. It was probably 10 years ago. He was very inspired by a couple TV shows in the 70s, A Man Called Bronson, and even Kung Fu, where it's like this character goes out there, he interacts with different communities, and by the end of each episode, the community is different and that character is different. That was sort of the basis for the Daryl Dixon show that Norman was really passionate about. And so to be able to see how these two characters interact with each other and how their take on humanity elevates these other communities. That's what the show's about. And I think that they do a really good job of interjecting the original Walking Dead spirit with this new sort of, people on the move vibe.
Now, and you shot this next season in Spain, is that correct?
Yeah, we did 2 seasons in Paris, in France, and then we moved to Madrid for season 3.
So, can you confirm that there are going to be zombie bulls on the show?
You know, I hadn't thought of. There should be one zombie that was gored by a bull somewhere. But you know, look, this season is really fascinating. It's different because we meet a bunch of new groups of people. There's even Daryl comes in contact with a leper colony at one point.
Oh wow!
And what's kind of fun about it is when you initially see them, they're all covered up and they're hunched and they're walking slowly, and you're like, those walkers? And then one of them talks. And you're like, holy shit, zombies can talk, and then you sort of...
Yeah, you realize it. Gotcha.
It's a lot of fun. So we got a chance to do some really, really unique, non-zombie characters for a change. It was a lot of fun.
No, I love that. And in fact, I mean, this kind of answers a little bit of my next question, but there has been some fan critique that past spin-offs repeat those zombie tropes a lot of times. So what new narrative or visual twist were you guys injecting into this season to keep the franchise fresh?
Well, you know, look, one thing that Daryl does that the other shows don't do is they approach the zombies in a very different way. You know, in season 1 we had the marionette, the zombies that were in the orchestra, and it was like this sort of deranged French composer used the zombies to create an orchestra, and we thought, you know, it's interesting that these people are taking pieces of their culture, and their culture in France being, you know, the opera and that kind of stuff. So it was really fun. So in this season we have a bit where these zombies are being used as marionettes that are portraying sort of old world Spanish, culture. So, you know, they're still scary in certain many elements, because to me zombies always have to be scary. But we also have an opportunity to see how other cultures relate.
Dude, that's kind of fun. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah. You've got this long legacy in horror effects, and now you have a new show coming out called Guts and Glory.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I want to hear about it.
It's so insane.
Okay.
So look, I'm a big, I love competition shows.
Yeah.
You know, I watch Survivor, I watch Naked and Afraid, I watch Traitors, I watch Jeffrey's Destination. I watch all of it. Okay. It's really entertaining. You know, when I come home from work and I'm tired.
You want to turn your brain off?
I wanted to put on something that's pure entertainment.
I respect it.
And I thought to myself, I've never seen a horror competition show that is straight horror. So I took a little Survivor, a little Blair Witch Project, a little Halloween Horror Nights.
Okay.
And the idea was, you have 10 contestants, and through the course of this show, they're either eliminated or they're murdered, killed in front of the other contestants, who, by the way, have no idea it's coming. So I instructed the camera guys shoot the reactions. So there's many contestants that die in front of the other thing. So while we're developing this, I'm like, okay, we're going to traumatize people here because that split second of them seeing a contestant that they just did a challenge with,
Mhm.
and they turn around, they turn back, and that contestant is torn to pieces in front of them. Like, how do you? I was a little, when we first started, I was a little worried, and then I thought, okay, after the first 5 minutes, they're going to go, you didn't really kill that person in front of us. It was kind of a trick. But they don't know because it happened live. So the big thing for us, the hardest thing was designing these things that we could do in front of the other contestants.
Yeah.
So it was like directing a sporting event.
Mhm.
You never know where the football's going to go. You never know where the quarterback's going to go or the runner's going to go. You have to be prepared for everything. So we had gags set up, and we had to get the contestants into a certain place. And when they hit a certain mark, okay, cue that,
Yeah.
cue this, cue that. And it was really invigorating process.
Yeah.
Because it was so different than regular television where you're like, oh, okay, let's try it again, take two, we want to see more blood or we want a different performance. We had no take two. It had to happen live in front of the contestants, and that was it.
How much planning went into that? That sounds daunting.
Not as much as I had hoped. It was daunting.
Yeah.
And nobody had ever done it before. I hired most of the Walking Dead crew, and so we had been doing scripted television. So it's like you set the camera here, the characters come in, they take their marks, they talk, they kill a zombie, whatever. So for this,
And you can redo it if it
and
goes
you can
wrong.
redo it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they flubbed their line, or they
Yeah.
didn't hit their mark, or whatever. But with this, we had 6 camera operators, and the camera operators had to move around and capture the action, capture the interaction, capture the dialogue, and know that at a certain point, they were being, directed by my DP, DC Manweller. So like, okay, zombies are going to come in, or this monster's going to come in, or this possessed person's going to come in. So it was really fun. It was so weird. And I watched the last 2 episodes. I'm in the middle of posting it now. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Because you see the contestants and they're like, I know this isn't real, but they're going to just keep throwing everything they can at me to scare me and to put me off of my game so that I do or don't win. But it's a legitimate competition joke. There is a winner at the end, so they're competing for a prize, and it's a thing. It's so much fun.
It sounds
It
awesome.
was great.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
It's
I
great.
can't wait to check it out. Last question for you before we get out of here. I am a giant fan of Creepshow. I watch them all. I would love to know if there's any update on the 5th season.
That's funny you would say that because I'm having dinner with the Shudder executives, and I think there's a Creepshow episode where I hold them ransom. And if they don't agree to do another season, then I agree to unleash all of these demons on the world. I just wrote that, by the way.
I think that's a great episode.
I have so many people that love Creepshow,
Mhm.
and to me, having the opportunity to work with the writers that I worked with, and to get the actors in there, Giancarlo Esposito, I
Mhm.
see each other all the time. It was so much fun.
It was the
I
first-
called everybody in my phone book.
It was literally the first set visit I ever did, by the way.
Oh, really?
was
When we were
Creepshow.
shooting that episode?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So that was, which was so much fun, and
Thank you.
yeah,
It's a great show. It was so much fun, and I put so much of my heart in it. The funny thing is, season 1, I was like, yeah, how hard can it be? I've been on Walking Dead for 12 years, and I was like, it's 10 times harder.
Mhm.
Because you have 3.5 days to shoot an episode. And then you have a new story, a new cast, and sometimes a new director every 3.5 days.
Yeah.
So you're constantly like changing. And
Sounds like you just love stressing yourself out.
somebody said the word vacation this morning. I don't know this word, but I still love what I do. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky at my advanced age and experience that I still love it.
Look, I think you look great,
Well,
and you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
sir.
you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, very good, very good, very good. Yeah, very good. I don't got any. No issues there, man. No issues, no issues. yeah, so that there you guys go. That is the information, the updated news. That was The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon season 3 trailer reaction. Let me know what you guys thoughts, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Everything like that. What do you guys think about the season 4 being the final season of the Daryl show? Season 3 getting 7 episodes instead of 6, and season 4 getting 8 episodes instead of 6 or 7, which I find that very interesting. So we're increasing by 1 with this season, and then we're increasing another one the next season. It's pretty interesting. But hey, I'm all down for it. I'm gonna completely agree with the reviews, 100% on terms of I hope it ends off in a a reunion that we've been waiting for Daryl and Rick, and I'm praying to God that we do get it, and that's going to be awesome. So hopefully that is the case. That'd be awesome. I completely agree with him in terms of it's a good thing. I love the Daryl Dixon show 100%, and I do think it's the best one, I think, me personally. But I'm just more of a Daryl fan. Dead City would be very close, you know what I mean? Because I do like Negan. I love Negan. He's awesome. Just Maggie there, it just kind of, she's iffy, right? Because there's times where she's awesome, and then there's times where, yeah. But, with that situation, situation. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the words here. Yeah, I think it's a good thing for the franchise. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have kept watching no matter how far they went. But I do think getting that conclusion with the reunion and stuff like that, and hopefully heading in the right direction, which hopefully that's what they're doing, is a good thing, and it will ease our minds in terms of that Rick and Daryl reunion that we want so desperately. It wasn't necessary to keep going for more seasons, you know what I mean? That's just craziness, so it's a good thing that that it's seeming like we're going to have more of a conclusion, right? So, but yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts and all that good stuff. that was the reaction, thoughts, discussion, updated information. Season 4 being the final season of Daryl Dixon. Extended for both seasons, 3 and 4. Obviously, you already know we're back on September 7th. We'll be right back in it with a continuation of reactions live right on the dot at 3 a.m. Eastern. So we'll be right on the dot. I believe Mr. Heisenberg will be with me as well, reacting to it together. So that would definitely be fun and entertaining. For sure. Hopefully it is exciting and fresh and everything. More than season 2. Of course. But yeah. Alright. Yeah. Not really sure what else more to say. That's pretty much it. So yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts and everything like that. Let me know in the comment section below. That'd be awesome. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you guys are new to the channel and want more content like this. Stay up to date with the Walking Dead universe and all that good stuff. Big news like this, that kind of things. I will be doing a live stream on going forward to kind of give you guys the updated news and information. So definitely do stay tuned. Hit that bell, be notified every time we go live. Social medias, stay up to date with me all the time. Links below. Second channel, Twitch channel, Heisenberg's channel down below as well. Subscribe to them and become a member. Get extra content. Link is in the description. You also support the channel and keep us doing what we're doing. Mainly me. So yeah, I got a Hedgehog Bros episode coming up, which will be an hour and 3 minutes, episode 195. So stay tuned, should be a fun one. Hopefully, it's a pretty decent one, hopefully. We'll find out. So, yeah, hopefully another good one. The last 3 episodes, at least, have been an 8 out of 10, so can't bitch. So let's see if the Tales Tuesday here, episode 195, continues that. So, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. More for our content later today. Over is signing out. Peace. And don't forget to check out Dan Reviews. Link for his channel is in the description. Show my man some love. Signing off. Peace. Have a good one, guys. Much less safe.